What's up, guys? I was hoping to have the final video of this water-cooled Xbox One S up yesterday, but I have discovered a leak, and I'll go ahead and explain that real quick. So these cubes here, let's see, this one goes right here, and then this 90-degree fitting connects to the tube at a 90-degree, and this tube connects back into the reservoir. So this goes straight across there. And I had the console tilted up like this because the fill port is on top of the reservoir there. See, there's still a little fluid in there. And as I was filling it up, obviously it will go through this tube first once the level reaches that. And once the fluid was going around here, I started noticing, actually you can see there, started dripping a little bit from the side. You can also see a little bit of fluid got inside of some of these holes, so there's kind of a little stain there. I gotta go back and clean it up when it's all back together, but basically what I discovered was it was actually leaking out of both of these. So it was leaking in between this thread and in between the one here. And so no matter what I did, I tried just tightening them up while they were still on here, but no matter what I did, they just kept leaking. So I went ahead and tilted it back this way to drain the rest of the fluid, or most of the fluid out basically, so I could take this stuff off. I actually removed the temperature display. I don't know if this was in the last video. I actually got the new temperature display in. Still has the plastic on it. This one's actually lights up red. And so anyway, as I took this off, I realized that it has an O-ring on it now, but this yellow one, I just put that in. It did not actually have a rubber seal in there. And so that's why it was leaking. It would go in between the threads, and then there was no rubber seal to stop the fluid, so it was slowly dripping out from that side. And now that I noticed that, luckily one of the fittings I ordered, a couple weeks ago, came with 4 extra O-rings. So basically I put that one in there, put it on there, and it does seal up now. I am still going to go back and check these. This is another one, exact same fitting. Go back and make sure that one has one. Luckily I have 3 more, and there's 3 more of these kind of fittings, so there's one for there, one for there, one for there. Now the other problem with it leaking from the other side is the fittings that I got here, which they're right here. I believe it's Bits Power, I believe. The thing is with these cubes here, there's 4 of them on the outside, there, and there, and this one. The thread doesn't really go that far into the cube. So what's happening is these fittings have pretty long threads compared to most fittings. And I'll go ahead and screw that in there. Now as you can see, hopefully you can pick it up. Should be a pretty good camera. So that's as tight as the fitting will go. The threading has bottomed out, but if you can see there, the O-ring is still not making contact with the cube. So really that's the only problem. And I have this same fitting. This cube has one on that side and on the top. This is the same kind of fitting. And basically it's just those 3, because that one connects on the top of here. So it's these 3 fittings here. So what I did to solve that, instead of having to take it all apart and get different kind of fittings, I ordered a couple of spacers. So they just kind of sit on here and take up some of the thread, and there's still an O-ring on the spacers, so that's going to solve that problem. And then, like I said, with these ones here, I've got the extra O-rings that I'll have to put in. There is one fifth cube, one of these cubes on the inside, and it's actually a three-way. That's what comes out of the pump. It's got a fitting like this. It's got a 90-degree one going off this side, and then on the third side is where the temperature sensor plugs into. Now, luckily with that one, I kind of took this screen out to take a peek inside, make sure nothing was leaking on the inside. The one fitting that's like this one is actually a shorter, different style fitting, so that one does seal. Looked in there, nothing was leaking on the inside, which nothing really should. It was just apart from this small problem that I luckily discovered, and luckily it was on the outside, and I never even got a chance to turn the system on, so luckily it didn't go through these, so that I can just go back and check those while it's apart, and I gotta wait a few more days for those spacers and things to come in anyway. I also ordered another one of these, because as I put it together, I didn't realize I had one black one and a gold one. The gold one kind of sticks out, but so I just got another one of those just to make that match up. And yeah, other than that, the fluid looks pretty cool as I was going through the tubing until it was leaking out the side. Kind of looked like it was bleeding, but that's pretty much it. So this is basically what it's going to look like when it's all done. Like I said, I just got to wait a couple days for those parts to come in, put these back on there, fill it up again, and see what it looks like when it's all done. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave a comment. Like the video if it was helpful, if you liked it, and stay tuned for the final product in a few days. Thanks for watching.